we're just sitting here going to ignore the greatest major champion of our generation. And that's Brooks Koepka, right?
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
The PGA Championship, the second major of the calendar year, begins tomorrow, bright and early. And that is where we are starting this hour, Paulie, with our buddy, Cutmaker Jeff, Indy Jeff, and the Cutmaker podcast. And he joins us here on the Progressive guest line. Good morning, buddy. Thanks for the time. Let's start with a couple of guys that are at the very top of the board, where they each have some extenuating circumstances going on leading into this event. Of course, Scottie Scheffler and his wife recently had their baby, as we all knew about. She was due at any time around the Masters. He said then he was going to leave, even with a lead on Sunday. Never happened. He won it, and she has since had the baby. That, and tied into Rory McIlroy going through a divorce now. And you know what happened the last time? They sent out the wedding invitations in 2014. 3 days later, broke it off, and he went on this complete hot streak and was the best golfer in the world. So what do you want to do here with both of those guys at the very top of the odds board?
Listen. Rory McIlroy's not Paul Howard. Nobody can pull this off like Paul Howard, right? So, like, I hear this narrative about Rory's going to go on this streak again, and guys, really, this is a 3-horse race, and you're right. Everybody's got a narrative. There's the baby narrative. There's the divorce narrative. But we're just sitting here going to ignore the greatest major champion of our generation, and that's Brooks Koepka, right? I mean, coming off a win at the Live, he's 16-1. Think about this. Like, Scotty, I'm so happy Scotty's in this field. And guys, my favorite play of the total tournament is Scottie Scheffler top 10 minus 220. Right? If you trust Data Golf, he has a 62% chance of top 10. I think it's absurdly low. He has finished top 10 in 8 of his last 10 tournaments, and 19 of his last 21, he's finished top 10. I put the odds at 85% in this weak field of him finishing top 10. So if you think there's 75%, then you're getting value here on Scotty minus 220 top 10. I think it's a great play. I think it's a very safe play. The one narrative here is he's going to be without his caddy, Ted Scott, on Saturday, who's got a personal matter he's got to attend to. That may put a little chink in the armor and may give us a live betting opportunity on Sunday if Scotty's a few holes back. But aside from that, I mean, 16-1 on Brooks Koepka. I mean, you're going to give me an in-form Brooks Koepka coming into the PGA Championship? I'm in.
To your point.
Palooza 6 coming up, guys.
Yeah, to your point, there's a prop up. Scotty, Rory, Brooks plus 160. Field minus 210. Think about that.
Right.
Wow.
Right. As I said, it really does feel like a 3-horse race. And while Rory's, it's very rare we see this much of an informed Rory. And I'm going to play some Rory in DFS on DraftKings because I think he's very live. But again, you can only play so many guys here. For me, it's Scotty top 10 and Brooks outright.
Okay, so if it's a 3-horse race in your opinion then, and based on your numbers, if you like Scotty that much to finish top 10 at minus 220, even that high, then do you like Rory to finish top 10? I'm looking at minus 110 right now on the screen. Or how much do you love Brooks to finish top 20 at minus 120?
Actually, what's interesting, Mitch, is first of all, I like both of those. And you can get Brooks at plus money in a matchup against Rory, which I actually like as well. So, I mean, I think last I saw him plus 120 in a matchup against Rory. I think that's a really good play. I mean, guys, he shows up at these things time and time again, especially the PGA Championship. And while, yes, it rotates courses, it's not the same course. There's no such thing as a course here. Guys, I mean, it's a long course. I wish it was going to play a little tougher. I think it's going to be a little easier this week. I think 16, 17, 18-1 could win. That's the only reason I'm not like unloading on Brooks, because if it were going to be a 5-6 under, he would be the lock of the decade. Because there's going to be a little more higher scoring, I think it brings a few other guys into play.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then, because it's a longer course. Yeah, about 7,600 yards or so. And when you look at the bombers off the tee, DeChambeau and Joaquin Niemann both on the Live Tour, what do you think of their chances this week at Valhalla?
First of all, I love both those guys, top 20s. So Bryson graded out 9th in my model, which is high, right? I mean, that's really good. And I think when you look at Bryson, if you remember the Masters, he was in contention. He came out of the gate super hot at the Masters. And I don't see any reason why, I like Bryson first round leader bet, something along those lines. I think he's absolutely live there. But, and again, you can find him, you're going to get a really good price on Bryson. So I don't mind, some pizza money on Bryson. Not right. Neiman, same thing. Neiman's going to be 35-1. Bryson going to be in that 30-1 range. I don't mind those guys. And, if you're going to bet further down the board, I don't mind either one of those guys. And guys, the one person people talk about all the time is Oberg. I wonder if he didn't have the knee troubles that he was having, where his number would be. I think it would be lower than Xander. I think it would be lower than Rahm if he didn't have the knee issues. You can find him north of 20-1. If he gets through the knee, I mean, in my opinion, he's the next Koepka. I think he's going to win multiple majors. I'm a little upset that he's got this injury here for him, but if he could power through that, I mean, think about this. Imagine if we have any of these guys, Scottie, Rory, Brooks, any of these guys trailing by 2 shots, or even Oberg, trailing by a shot or 2 to Xander on Sunday. How much are you going to bet fading Xander again? Yep. Just like we saw this past Sunday down the stretch, just like we saw at Augusta when Hideki won. I mean, this presents elite live betting opportunities if Xander's winning again. And I think Xander's a great top 10 bet. I will never bet him to win a major.
Okay. How about, I was watching the show last week about looking at the course, and it's a great course, and 1, 2, and 13 appear to be difficult, but you think they can do a good job here with this course. Albatross is 12-1. Would you bet that?
No, I
okay.
wouldn't. And I would. I don't bet a lot of those longer shot bets. I think, if anything, if I was going to bet that, I would parlay with something else and try to do like 100-1, find something higher up the board.
All right. How about some props that you like then?
Yeah. First of all, I love Phil Top Senior plus 150, and we're going back to the well with him against Tiger, right? We love that matchup. We played it during the Masters. We got very fortunate in Tiger blowing up in the Masters, but Phil Top Senior and Phil against Tiger, I love that. In a 3-ball matchup on DraftKings, I saw this morning. Back up the brakes truck. Back up the truck. Rory minus 140 versus DJ, who is toast, and Justin Rose in their first round matchup.
Yes.
I mean, those guys are dusty as hell. DJ is he's done. I'm fading him in every matchup. Mitch, I texted this yesterday. Guys, like, any matchup I can find against DJ, I am all in on. There is no price I won't like. I think I saw Hatton minus 150 against DJ. Yes, all the money. And pick a guy. Anyone against DJ, I'm in. And Justin Rose has performed well in PGAs, but at this point, he's dust. And we're getting Rory minus 140 in this matchup again. I love that 3-ball on DraftKings. I also like Xander, who always gets off the hot starts, as we know, against Oberg and JT. I think we get Xander early at plus 130 before he has the chance to crack down his leg. I like that a lot in the first round, too. So those are some kind of props and stuff I like. And then top Japanese player, Hideki at plus 110. Plus 110. Name me another Japanese player in the field, guys.
Well, here's the thing. Are you concerned at all with his health that he could be coasting along and then all of a sudden he gets the old WD?
Sure, of course. Of course, that is the risk. But here's the thing, Mitch. If that wasn't a risk, what would he be, minus 200?
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Right? I mean, you got Nakajima, Hitasune, and Kanyana. You don't know any of those guys. You can't spell those names, right? Like, he's plus money. He ranks 6th in my model. He's the number 6 player in my model. So it's like, if he didn't have back issues, I was texting Jeff Sherman about this yesterday. I don't understand some of the matchup prices he's in, but it's all about the back issues. If his back survives and he's fine, which he miraculously does all the time, I think in DFS he's a great play. And at plus 110 against guys you mean, of course, they're PGA professionals, but guys you don't know, he's a great play.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of health, how about Tiger? He's minus 220 to miss the cut. And it's just, even if he makes the cut, the wheels are going to come off on the weekend.
Well, that's why I love Phil against him, right? I mean, I would make Phil a $2 favorite against Tiger. That's why anything short of that is value. Now, you're not going to get anybody else at a decent price against Tiger other than Phil. So I think that's why it's worth looking at. But I mean, and I guess the other good thing is, Paul, is if you bet against Tiger, you know you're going to see every shot.
Yeah.
Right? So you can whether he's in it or not, at least you'll be able to follow your bet and see what happens, because he's definitely going to be on TV every shot he makes.
Yes. I'm surprised by this, and I think they're missing an opportunity. I haven't seen anything on Michael Block. Have you? For props?
I haven't. And there's another guy is going to be on TV.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Well, you better be.
He'll be on TV. There'll be a lot of Michael Block narrative, and I kind of hope for his sake that he at least is competitive, and I think he will be. I don't mind him making the cut.